Hey again, MR family. I got a little different angle for you on this beautiful Memorial Day Monday. Remember, class is virtually today at 10 a.m. and then Tuesday we don't have class, but Wednesday's virtual schedule goes back to normal. Again, we are so thankful for everyone that is out here and staying a member and staying with us through these really hard times. Myself, Sarah Ann, Matt, and Erica really appreciate it. So if you need anything, let us know. But keep an eye out next week. Mayor Lightfoot will have some updates about what the reopening looks like, and hopefully we'll be able to go back that first week of June. Hopefully we'll be back by my birthday, June 5th, but we'll see what happens. Now today, as we know, traditionally is a Murph workout. So we are doing a Murph Prep because we are still doing our Murph and our beer WOD anniversary WOD separately once we're able to reopen. So save those on the back burner. They're still coming up this summer once we can reopen everything. But today we are going to do a prep or a type of Murph to get us ready and in shape for that day that we get to go back to the gym, which is very, very soon. So with that being said, the first part of today's workout is going to be a nice long warm up, and then we have a nice long WOD as well. So I'm just going to go through the brackets and break those down for you. The first one is going to be bear crawl unbroken. So as you can see, you might be in the same spot as me that I'm a little tight as far as space. So I will go over what this looks like in a more stable or more small space area, but if you can be outside, go ahead and do that on the ground outside. Whenever I go outside, as long as it's nice out tomorrow, I'll do this. I throw on my winter gloves and then I go for my bear crawl. But if you are in a spot or it's not as nice out today or when you're doing this workout, forward step. So I'm in this bear crawl position and then I'm gonna go forward and then try to move my hands with it. Okay, so kind of a bear crawl in place, maybe a little backwards and a little bit of forwards, back and forth. Again, this is unbroken to get that warm up going. And then right and left steps. So right and left will be like, maybe side shuffle a little bit here and here. So what I would say is going here, and then to the side, and then to the side, just kind of like you saw me do there. Kind of try to shuffle through. Do that 5 or 6 times until you really feel that heart rate going and that pre-sweat or that body starts feeling warm. Then you're good to go and you got the bear crawl and you got what you need out of that. Now we're going into 2 rounds of 10 lateral lunges. So remember, with our lateral lunges, we are going to do side to side here. So if you have enough space here and then this side and then turn around and make that step. If you're like me, just go ahead and give me lateral lunges back and forth as many times as you can, breaking that knee below the hips and keeping the heels down. We want to activate those glutes in there too. Reverse lunge, so right here, and then we're just going back, knee touching, and then knee touching. So right here, just reverse back and coming back, opening up those legs. And then last one is frog squat. So hands right here, below parallel above, below parallel above. Again, from a side view, right here to right here. And then you'll do 2 rounds, 10 of each of those movements. Second round through is 5 pull-ups or whatever you plan to do today. So I have a pull-up bar that hangs from the door, so I would do that as strict pull-ups and go through that. If that's not the case, you can go ahead and grab 2 weights. If you have 2 of the same weight, a dumbbell, and we're gonna do our bent over rows. You can see my side positioning. My knees are slightly bent. I'm leaning forward. I'm right at the knees, and I go to the belly button. Knees to belly button here, right? So a few more this way. Now, if you only had 1 dumbbell or 1 kettlebell, you can still do this 1 arm, right? And then once you're halfway through, switch to that other arm. So with this one, we would, since it's 5 pull-ups or 10 bent over rows, if you have a single arm, you can decide whether you want to do 10 and 10 or 5 and 5 depending on the weight. Since I have my 30s, I can do both together. If I were to bring out my 70 pounder, because I only have 1 of those, I would do 5 and then 5, and that's my 10 bent over rows and I'm good to go. The last thing, if you have some sort of implement like this, you can go ahead and come here, get underneath it, because this traditionally is made for dips, right? This is what this is made for. However, today, if you have one, you can go ahead and pull up here, or if you have a quarantine partner, you can have them hold hands and do the pull that way. So whatever works best for you. The last movement you could be doing is abbreviated type of bar muscle up type of movement. So if you see here, I could squat down and then kind of come up from the counter. If you feel like you're really missing that dip or that bar muscle up piece, it wouldn't be as much of a Murph Prep, but it could be another option if you're kind of getting sick of doing the same things to change that up. Right on the counter there, squat all the way down, push all the way up, and hold at that extension like a bar muscle up. Okay, and then going into the rest of this round, because there's 2 rounds of this, that's the first movement. Second movement is going to be push-ups. So we're all very familiar with this one. In that plank position, let's try to make these good push-ups, belly button tight, down, and chest touching and back up. Of course, we can modify on the knees. That's not my favorite modification. If you're modifying right here, see how I'm here, and then I worm myself up. That's what I prefer you to do as you're getting closer to those push-ups. And then we have 5 down dog push-ups, so stay in that same position here. Right here, and then through. And here, and then through. Okay? And then the last one, or the last 2 here are going to be a max squeeze plank hold. So squeezing those butt cheeks together, staying in this plank position, and just staying right then and there. So those movements actually are written to be done together if possible. So I'll show you an abbreviated version of that. You'd start with your 5 push-ups, then go into your 5 down dogs, and then you're going into a 60-second plank hold in that perfect position, creating that hollow body, getting the core nice and warm while we're getting our arms nice and warm. That's a 30-second hold at the end there. And then 6 Scorpios. So this one, we are laying on our back here, making a nice cross, and then going here. You might feel a few cracks in the spine, and that's great. Just loosening things up. We don't want to stay in the position too long. So 30 seconds, or I'm sorry, 6 each time, 3 each side. We're doing it 2 rounds. You'll be golden as far as that. Then for our Murph Prep workout here. And this one is a doozy, but it's definitely worth it to get moving. It is 20 rounds of 5 pull-ups or bent over rows, just like we talked about, 10 push-ups and 15 air squats. So we've done push-ups, chest to ground, lockout at top, it counts. Pull-ups, chin above bar, it's good. And then air squats, we're right here, hips below parallel and rise. So getting used to that right here. So that's that 5, 10, 15. It's gonna get so ready for the Murph here. And I'm super excited to have you all back together for that in a couple weeks here once we're out of this all. Once you're done, that's a long workout. Grab some water, make sure you stretch out. We have 6 Scorpios again, like I just showed you. So 3 on each side. Take your time with those. So I just showed you a couple, 2, 3 count, and then switch to the other side. For this mobility at the back end, take 30 seconds on the side if you want. It's just 6 of them total. And then 2 minutes of child's pose. And again, with this mobility at the end, you can take as much or as little time as you want. So you could do it 2 rounds, 3 rounds, whatever your body needs, listen to it. So with that child's pose, what it will be looking like is getting into that child's pose. So my hips are back right here, and then bending at my elbows and pushing my head through. So I'll show you again on the side here. I'm in my child's pose, elbows down, pushing the head through. Chin to knees is really the cue I want you to be thinking about. Chin to knees, really stretching out those triceps and pulling through. That's all I have for today. Again, thank you. Happy Memorial Day, and I can't wait to see you all soon.